So something I've been thinking a lot about lately, and that's very near and dear to me, is this profound understanding that I have and have continued to evolve with how working in the energetic realms is so relevant. So a lot of times, I've heard so many different terms for talking about this, and it seems to be kind of a favorite term to say things like woo-woo, which when I hear woo-woo, I think foo-foo, like foo-foo drink, foo-foo fluffy, kind of like it's not real. And why I don't like that notion is because I have personally had some pretty profound experiences throughout the course of my lifetime where working in the energetic realm has really manifested into some pretty substantial concrete things out here, in what we consider to be, the main reality. And I recently had a very profound experience that I thought I would share just in some detail. I'll try not to elaborate too much because some of it's kind of yucky stuff. My husband and I, a few weeks ago, began having some pretty substantial contrast in our experience with some key players in our world's family. And the long and short of it, I guess the upshot of it is to say that we had a couple of individuals in our experience who they've been pretty profoundly miserable just in their own life experience. And Dan and I, that's my husband, we tend to be happy for the most part. We struggle just like everybody else, but we both support and participate in the law of attraction pretty heavily, and we meditate and we do create, our experience. And sometimes it's hard for people who don't operate in any modality that supports their own happiness. They're just kind of going through life, muddling through it and being rather miserable. And so when they are required to be continuously exposed to people who are pretty happy and work on being satisfied, like it's a job, you can focus on being satisfied and appreciation. And that's what my husband and I do. So externally, even when the shit's going down, like we look like we're pretty happy most of the time. And we are. So anyway, a couple of individuals had some pretty profound envy and took some steps that were very harmful and unnecessary, but essentially very harmful to us. So, we had to kind of make some choices about what to do about this, all going on. And, what we were able to do out here was rather limited for a number of reasons. And so, we kind of started to understand that, hey, we're going to have to operate in the energetic realm here, and kind of take those steps. And we did. And what's really interesting about this particular example that I'm sharing, and I'm not going to go into every single detail, but I expected what we did was a ritual, and I expected to feel better. That was really, I just mainly wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel like I had laid some energetic boundaries, and I wanted to feel like I was kind of protecting us, and that kind of thing. And I certainly did achieve that. But what I wasn't expecting was for anything, specifically to really change kind of out here. I wanted to feel better. I wanted us to feel like we had done something, because we were feeling kind of like, a little bit powerless. And, but I wasn't necessarily having a goal of anything sort of manifesting specifically from it. And what was really interesting, without going, again, into too much detail, is that we did this ritual on a Thursday evening. This was all happened in February. And by the following Wednesday, so it was less than a full week, some major things were shifting out here in the space between family members. And, you know, it's just kind of amazing. I don't know why I still get amazed, because I've had this experience so many times, you know, in my life where I've done something at the energetic level and something externally has shifted in a major way. And, you know, I'm always like, oh, wow, that's so amazing. That's so cool that that happened, you know, but I don't know why I'm still surprised by it. And it's interesting because, you know, if we look at our culture and things like that, you know, some of these techniques, you know, many of us in this group and in other groups, you know, we know each other, are kind of working in this realm. We're kind of energy workers in some way, whether it's through hypnotherapy like I do, or Reiki, or I know kinesiology deals with energy a bit. I don't know a lot about it. And even coaching, you know, and counseling to an extent. So there's a lot of gaining momentum with some of these techniques. But I think, you know, a lot of times people are still operating under the misapprehension that it's just to feel better, only to feel better, like emotionally, and that it's not going to really change very much out here, but it does. And that's the piece that I find so fascinating, because, you know, thoughts do become reality. A belief is a thought that you keep thinking. And as you move in that direction, you're driving in the direction of the thought form. But it goes deeper than that, you know, because it's not just simply a matter of changing your perception, because it, you know, that would be in itself incredibly helpful, right? We hear the word mindset. It's become kind of like this buzzword that everybody talks about, mindset, and it's very important. But that's not the only outcome that you're necessarily getting, although it's an important one as well. You actually can see the manifestation of what you're creating energetically. And so I thought it was important to share this story. I debated, you know, kind of going into more detail about what happened and who the characters were. And, you know, if you've watched any number of my videos or have talked to me, you probably know. But it was a pretty potent level of contrast that we experienced. And, you know, it's not fully resolved. You know, there are still some elements that are a bit unsatisfying, but the important pieces, probably the most important pieces for us, have shifted. And it's been a powerful experience to witness, having done this ritual. And, you know, by the way, I'm not here to pitch it or anything, but it is something that I'm offering because, and the reason is because it's so powerful, and it was so beneficial to our situation. And even my husband was surprised, because, you know, he's a bit less into some of the stuff than I am, you know, admittedly. I mean, he came, you know, freely along for the ride. He was really interested to see what would happen with this. And we both, you know, that following Wednesday, it happened to be Valentine's Day, we both looked at each other as things were kind of unfolding and went, wow, I think we did this. And just to be clear, because I think it's important to say this, it's not possible to work energetically in someone else's experience, you know. So of course you don't ever have the ability to like take away somebody else's free will. And that was never our goal. Our goal was not to change what anybody else was, you know, doing or being or saying. Our goal was simply to protect us, which we did. But in the process of what we created, it did shift some of the dynamics in a very important and helpful way. And that was the piece that was so interesting and so fascinating for us to see. So working in the energetic realm, whatever modality you're using, there are many that, you know, can help you to shift energy. Not only does it help you to feel better, but it can actually produce real results, you know, tangible things where you're looking at it and going, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So I thought that was important to share. I haven't done a live stream in a while, and I miss you guys, and I hope you're all doing very well today. I hope you're having a beautiful Saturday, wherever you may be, whatever you may be doing, and I look forward to connecting again soon.